attempt to install a light bar on the front of my 2015 STi, and I chose the Sylvania Rugged Tough Off-Road design. 20-inch bar. It's a super wide flood. This one reaches about 150 feet out. I'm going to install it in this lower grill. So for the wiring, what I did is I ran up through here, and you can kind of see the wires, and I've zip tied some stuff to keep everything out of the way. But I ran that up this hole up in the firewall. I don't know if you can see that or not, but they had a plastic or kind of rubberish plug, but I knocked that out, and I don't know where that went, somewhere behind my firewall. It didn't pop out on the floorboard. I'm going to put in this little rubber grommet that's gonna fit in that hole. I already tested that, so I gotta run that up through here. So I already have the fog lights. My fog lights are actually operated off of the tree. However, I learned that on a 2015, if you replace this bezel with a Forester bezel from a 2015, it gives you a slot for this fog light switch. And then there's also, you know, obviously the switch itself from a 2015 Forester. But behind here, there's actually a plug for that switch. And if you splice in 2 wires, which is what I've done here, I'm in the process of running that through the firewall here, you can actually get this switch to light up just like all the rest of your switches in red. It'll dim, it does all the things. This switch will then operate the light bar. So I'll post some pictures. I didn't film that piece, but I'll post some pictures of that plug that's back there, just hidden, taped up. I did get the grommet all installed. I got it zip tied up. I'm going to continue to run some more of the sheath along this because I'm about to go up underneath, fish it up under here, have it come out through here. So at this point I got the fender back all put together. Got the wire ran up underneath the engine bay shroud. The wiring kit that I got was this Nylite off-road LED light bar wiring harness. It's the one run. They make different runs where you can hook up multiple lights, but this one is just for a single light. One of the things that I noticed is that the positive cable and the negative cable are only about 8 inches, 10 inches long. So to try and hide this whole wiring harness and the relay and everything, that's not going to be enough for me. So I am going to make an extension for this so that I can run this further down in the engine bay and hide the wiring. I already had a big old wire run into the trunk for an aftermarket amp, so what I've done is just got them in tandem here, and then I pushed the pigtail wire I just made for the light into the sheathing I already had for the amp, and then you can see it's going to come out right here, and here's my pigtail. So I made my grounding pigtail that's going to go onto that bolt there, and I'm just kind of lacing it through the engine bay, and I'm sure I'll kind of zip tie it to some stuff there. So I got that all grounded out, and it's actually wrapped underneath through there. So at this point I got it all grounded out. I have the power running from the battery, And my next step, I'm gonna probably take the battery out now that everything's fitted and measured and tied up and everything, and see if I can't find a place to mount the relay, probably down inside of the bay here somewhere. I have my power and my ground hooked up here, and you can see here's the two, and then I merge them into the one, and I resheathed everything. And then here's the two wires off of the switch inside, and I have that all brought into the switch that goes into the relay. It came with like a disconnect, but here's the nightlight switch, and it has a plug that I ended up just cutting off here. Inside of here, I just capped off the black with some shrink wrap, and then I connected the two cables from inside, or wires from inside, to the red and the white going into this. So I did end up getting it mounted. I don't know if you can see this, but I got the relay mounted up against that support. I did end up throwing a tech screw on there. The cable's coming down right here, and then I ended up with the excess just kind of wrapping it up and zip tying stuff the best I could. End result is now I just have this one last tail, which is the power to the light itself. Alright, I got the light bar all sitting here hooked up, and kind of the moment of truth here. OEM switch engage. Sweet. So the light bar works. Alright, battery is all back installed. Everything is tied up tight, not moving, locked down. And all we got left is the power cord braid here. So I'm kind of trying to figure out a bracket here. I just had these L brackets laying around my garage, but I'm sure you could find something similar at Lowe's. I bought these steel bars, and we'll get into all that. But basically these steel bars, one is they're both 3 feet, but I'm gonna cut one down to about the length of the light bar for this to mount on. And then the idea is that I'm going to mount one 3-inch bar along the back on some brackets that are support brackets behind the bumper, and I'm actually going to extend it from those brackets by about 1 inch with these. And then this bar is going to also extend 1 inch from the back to this bar, and then this will extend about 1.5 inches, 2 inches from that bar. So I'm guessing if everything's torqued down and tight that it's not going to move, but I don't know. Hopefully it's not too long that it's bouncing around in there. But it's all pretty thick steel, and I'm going to be able to torque these down pretty good. So we'll see. So I did get the second bar cut down. My makeshift paint booth. At this point I got the bumper off. I did remove the old horn because the bar is going to be going right where the old horn is. So that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. I did buy the Hello Horn kit so that I could relocate it. One of those mods I was never ever planning on doing because I really don't care about horns, but I guess I'm doing it now. It's hard to see in the dark, but with some painter's tape on there. Using the existing holes in those supports, and it is damn sturdy. So the next piece is to try and figure out where that lines up as far as the opening in the lower grill. Right now it looks like it's going to be in the upper portion of the grill, but for the second bar that's going to come out, it'll come out about an inch, inch and a half, and so I could mount that lower on this bar, and then I could even mount the light bar lower on that bar, so I can still step this down a couple inches. Also, that was a major pain in the ass, just as a heads up. Alright, so at this point now, my plan is all coming together. So I have a back bar that stretches across, uses the existing mounting holes, and I've now mounted the front bar another inch or so. Just kind of see it. But there's the other bar. And this thing is, it's moving the car, like it's pretty damn stiff. So now I got a good mounting point for the bar. I just placed the bumper back on to get a fitment idea of what this will look like and where to put the light. So the idea is that the light will sit up top, so there'll still be some grill mesh at the bottom. Test fit 99. Fitting all right. Now I just gotta figure out how to cut the grill so it fits through. I realized I hadn't really filmed the grill part, but so far this is where I'm at. So I cut out a section of the grill, and then this stuff was just like this 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch plastic stuff I found on eBay. So I've just been cutting it to fit and trying to, you know, make it look kind of clean instead of just those rough cut edges like that. So I don't know if I have it all measured correctly, and I really won't know until I snap this back into the bumper and I try and fit everything. So I guess we'll see. What a disaster. So it is in. Everything went pretty good. Lined up nice. I'll do some better photos, but I don't know if you can see it too good. But everything lined up really nice, and let's see if we get some light on it. Looks pretty clean. That's a wrap. Hopefully I helped somebody out, or helped inspire somebody to try something like this, or at least made you laugh. Until next time.